Insofar as your activities and achievements, definitely if you got recognized academically, or if you were recognized professionally through work, or if you got a recognition during your college career for community service, or if you got scholarships, put that stuff in there within that application. Let us know about that stuff. When it comes to publications, were if your name was on one of the scientific posters that you may have attended for a campus-wide or a regional conference where you presented some of your findings, that's definitely something that committee wants to know about. If you had publications in college, it does not have to be pharmacy or healthcare or science related. It could be if you publish some poetry or publish some artwork at a symposium. If a news article of yours was published in college, all that information would be useful for the admissions committee. And then going on to either your certifications or licenses, definitely if you have a pharmacy technician certification, for example, that'd be good to know. Same thing with your CPR, first aid, and so on. Now, there's other additional information that could be useful to the admissions committee. One of which may be within the PharmCAS application. It asks if you speak a foreign language. If you're able to speak another language beyond English, then let's say if you speak Mandarin. Well, in Houston, for example, we have one of the highest concentrations of I'll add this person real quickly. Thank you for Thank you for joining. As I was saying, when it comes to achievements and what you can bring to your application, if you can speak another language, you're able to interact with other populations of patients. That's if you can speak their language, you can offer support, which is a huge benefit. So definitely, if you have fluency in another language or intermediate fluency or so on, be sure to answer that question within that PharmCAS application. If you have experience visiting, being part of it, had spent part of your life in another country, being immersed in another culture outside the United States, put that in there. Also, within the PharmCAS application, there is a question to describe any special life circumstances, and that's something that if that applies to you, that's going to be very useful to the admissions committee. It's not something necessarily within your personal essay. That's going to be addressing other items specifically. But if you had a very positive role model, if you had or if you had some really challenging circumstances, put that in there. For example, if you were a single parent while you're going to college, that's a lot of responsibility that may have taken away from your ability to focus intently on your coursework. Put that information in there within your application. If you had a challenging situation, growing up, put that in there. If there are with health concerns or that you feel comfort that you are able to share, put that in there. Well, we're not asking you to disclose private information that you feel uncomfortable with, but if you feel that something that with a, that would help the admissions committee understand, um, why not only some of the things you've overcome in life, but perhaps some of the challenges you may have had during some semesters in college. That gives you an opportunity to address that. Um, all right. So moving on. Um, within this application, definitely you want to within your experiences, you want to be sure to indicate the number of hours if you volunteer, and then because as I mentioned, that 25 hours of volunteer community service is required. But so within the application, you'll see this example, a person indicated what their role was through the organization, the time frame, but also in the duties. That gives you an opportunity to really help us understand what this role is, what you did in this role. You'll notice here in this example, the person didn't say that what they were specific to say, this is what I personally did in this role. That is very important for the admissions committee to understand so that they know that what you personally did. That way, you'll notice in this here, the person indicated the areas of responsibility. They indicated roughly how many hours a week they were involved in this role, as well as to show that they were able to handle that they supervised other other individuals, that they even had to do had to have an amazing organization to create and facilitate lesson plans. All that information, that's it's going to help a person be a strong pharmacy student and ultimately a great pharmacist one day. So really utilize this information so to help the admissions committee understand what you did in this role. And some of the we've seen some amazing experiences from our applicants, and keep in mind that you made this position or role may be something that the admissions committee has no understanding of what prior to you sharing it with us. So definitely look at from the standpoint of someone who's never even heard of what this position or role is or company is. That way they can help you can set the stage, so to speak, for what was going on in that role. So definitely you want to make the admissions committee, you want to give them a lot of information there that's appropriate. In this example, you'll see a person was a college athlete. So even though that being college athletics may not they say, well, how does that relate to pharmacy school? Well, that's commitment, that's dedication, it's problem solving, it's certainly teamwork. This person was also recognized outside of so they were they added value to their organization, to their university, but they also were demonstrated that they're able to succeed in the classroom. So, so that information, so it doesn't. These awards are not just academic awards. This person made the dean's list. That's good for the community to know about, but also different scholarships and awards that persons earned throughout their college years is going to be helpful. Something else I'll point out is that if a person has been out of school for a while, but they were earned a recognition through their work or through in the community, put that in there as well. All right. In this example, what you're seeing is that this person is giving a lot of information, and they're letting us know specifically what they did. You see that so there's a lot of volunteerism here that was provided in there. So good stuff there. And then here, this person specifically indicated how many hours they volunteered. So very important to continue to do that. As I remind you, a minimum of 25 hours is required for our program. And I can't stress enough, you want to give the admissions committee every opportunity to say yes. Here, you're seeing some examples of people that did not indicate any volunteer experience or any experiences or any work experience. And in some of these situations, an applicant actually did some volunteering or had some work experience, but they didn't think that because it was pharmacy, they thought that because it was not pharmacy related specifically, that UH would not care about that. Put that information in there. Let the admissions committee determine how that information. You want to give the admissions committee every opportunity to say yes to you. So definitely, I would encourage you not to be shy and let us know what was going on in your college career, in your work experience, anything that you've done outside the classroom that we're not seeing on a transcript. Articulate that so we can know how awesome a person you are outside the classroom.